I'm the useless senior disciple everyone in the sect looks down on. But actually, my real identity is a cultivation furnace who cultivates by using others. I specifically target high-level cultivators to train. Bugger raising Gang junior brother, the naturally gifted sword cultivator senior disciple, the bloodthirsty demon lord, or even that untouchable master of mine. I've had them all. After trading each one, I give them a jade lotus petal. Until one day at the immortal sect competition, my junior brother pulled out the jade lotus petal, showing off his lover. Everyone on the high seats suddenly turned dark, and I sat there calmly eating pastries. After all, I'm the most useless senior disciple. The atmosphere was super tense right now. Master sitting in the highest seat and the sword cultivator senior disciple in the second, both stared hard at that jade lotus petal in junior brother's hand. Sword cultivator senior disciple Ling Yi slowly took out an identical petal from his robe. His voice was cold. You mean this one? Junior brother totally lost it. He pointed at that petal, eyes wide. Why do you have one too? Lily gave this to me after we finished being intimate. Then, he seemed to realize something. He flew up to fight Ling Yi. Just as they were about to clash, a wild laugh came from the distance. The demon lord walked on air. Their eyes turned to him. A jade lotus petal also hung at the demon lord's waist. So now their eyes held no wariness of the demon lord, only hatred for a rival who stole their life. No one noticed Master, sitting in the highest seat, also clutching a jade lotus petal. And me, I was quietly eating watermelon right now, calmly watching this whole mess unfold. The four looked at each other. The respected master started talking. We should work together to find this person first. I scoffed inside. Yingshu is the best at acting. He's probably thinking about how to kill them all. What junior brother, Yengi too, looked shocked. His eyes full of hurt. Lily said he only drew a cultivator with me. The other three twitched, and spoke one by one. Said that to me too. Same here. Me too. The atmosphere went silent again. Demon Lord Yen lowered his eyes, glancing over those three, his voice low and icy. When I find him, I'll lock him in my bed day and night. Try to run and I'll break his legs. Ling Yi, holding his sword, nodded slightly. Master turned and called my name. Luan. I quickly wiped the crumbs from my mouth and walked over. Head down. In our sect, I became senior disciple through my family connection to the sect leader. Usually I just handle daily logistics. My aptitude is terrible. I couldn't even quit eating. Well, not that I couldn't. My mouth's just too greedy to hold out. I know they look down on me. Things like the immortal competition aren't my concern. Proper cultivation is too hard. Draining others is way more comfortable. I stood to the side listening to Master's orders. Luan, write down all the features they describe. We have to find him even if we dig 3 feet down. I obediently agreed and took out a recording stone to start documenting. So junior brother Yen Ditu started describing first. He's really pretty, has a small mole on his eyebrow, and a beautiful red pattern on his inner thigh. Should be some kind of flower. The other three obviously held back their annoyance while listening. And his feet are so white. No, everywhere's white. Like made of jade. Pinch him and red marks show up. My face got hot listening. Junior brother raises bugs. I always worry about being tracked by his bugs. Every time, even with a sore back, I check myself for any tracking bugs. Good thing I'm always so careful. The face I show them is an illusion. Only the body is really mine. After all, using your own body works better for training. Then genius sword cultivator senior disciple spoke briefly. Little rabbit, very cute, no more. Peony flower, very pretty. He really loves using his mouth on my furnace mark. Has to suck it red every time before he's satisfied. I turn my head away, thinking how ice, cold Ling Yi, gets hot everywhere in bed. Can't help savoring the memory. He's still the best. Talks little performs well. Then the demon lord spoke. Black energy poured from his face. Seems like he's furious. He looks like a fox, eyes upturned, very cunning. Loves playing hide and seek with me. Also has peony flowers on his inner thighs, and his chest is very pink. Every time I drain the demon lord, I think he's like a kid. Because he really loves drinking milk. Finally, the high and mighty celestial lord began speaking. His eyes droop slightly, pupils bright like a little deer. Also has peony flowers on inner thighs, very white. There's also a mole where his butt connects to his leg. Since I live near Master, it's convenient to come and go, and Master doesn't like using toys, so he's pretty straightforward. So I drain him more often. Thinking back, I put in a lot of effort to pull this untouchable flower off his pedestal. What the four suppress their rage. If they actually find me out, a huge battle will definitely break out. They finally concluded. Every face is an illusion Lily created. Only the body is really his. We have to search by body. Master glanced at me lightly. Luan, you understand? I want to see this person in 5 days. I nodded miserably. Do I have to strip people one by one to find him? They just love exploiting me. I hunched my back and quietly left. Just as I was leaving, the demon lord suddenly called out to me. You're the Azure Lotus Sword Immortal Son. I turned around, still hunched. Yeah. My mother is Lu Qing. Right. My mother is the sect leader's cousin. That connection got me the senior disciple position. It's just that my talent is really bad. But I don't care. Draining others increases my cultivation and extends my life. Like they say, enjoy each day as it comes. The demon lord snorted lightly. Your mother's a total beauty in the cultivation world. How'd you turn out so pathetic? Actually, I look pretty good. But compared to mother, wow. I definitely didn't inherit that stunning beauty. This time to avoid exposure, I specially made my distinctive features more illusion, becoming more ordinary. Same face, but now I blend in with everyone. I know Demon Lord Yan hates timid people the most. So I quickly nodded and bowed. My mother is truly an immortal beauty. He boredly withdrew his gaze, looking at the floor with no interest. Yan Gitu called out unhappily to Yan. Do you still want to find Lily or not? Sword cultivator Ling Yi also glanced at me lightly, deliberately pausing on my body. I stayed hunched and didn't give anything away. He quickly looked away. In the eyes of a genius sword cultivator, I'm just a speck of dust. Plus, the sword he practices requires unity of heaven and man. He sees no one else. Actually, facing Ling Yi's face looks more like my original face. So I successfully exited and walked to the mountain peak where my boundary is. Only then did I remove the minor adjustments to my face posture. I went inside. I casually placed the recording stone on the table and carefully took off my clothes. I spread my legs slightly to look at the peony pattern on my inner left thigh. As I drain more people more times, it gets more obscene and blooms completely. I grabbed the potion from the drawer that conceals furnace marks and carefully applied it to the pattern. The pattern quickly disappeared completely, and the mole on my butt. I held a small mirror in one hand and carefully dabbed ointment with the other. My arm got tired bending back. I couldn't help complaining about Master Ying Shu. All his fault for licking everywhere. He knows every inch of me clearly. I absolutely can't expose any skin. One glance, and they'd recognize me. My limbs are slender, but the flesh is all soft. Especially the thin layer on my belly that easily shows its shape. I carefully put on underwear, tightened my belt, and fixed my shoes, trying to make every inch perfect. Hanged my waist, hung to my back. I became the useless senior disciple of the sect again. Even though I know the person is me, I still have to put on a show. So I started screening people. To prevent anyone from changing their body shape, I specifically placed a revealing stone nearby. Anyway, my hunching is just posture, so it won't show up. Well, first, I rolled out disciples with bulging muscles, then disciples with dark skin, even slightly yellow skin won't. I also ruled out female disciples, and those too short, too tall, or unevenly built. That left about a dozen delicate young men. Most of them looked at me with innocent, clueless eyes. One pair of lively eyes stood out particularly. I recognized him, the youngest son of the Inner Gate Great Elder Su. His eyes were rolling around. Seems like bad ideas are forming. Looks like this time, he doesn't just want to be a suspect. He wants to become Lily. I felt good. I was planning to leave this place anyway. Later I'll make another mistake and get kicked off the mount. Then I can keep finding people to drain. Heard that monk at the Buddhist sect looks pretty good. Thinking about it in my head. But first I need to let Su Qingqing know Lily's features. I sent a cup of tea to the remaining people, reassuring them. Don't worry. We'll just check everyone's inner thighs. We're all fellow male disciples. There won't be any other behavior. After speaking, I brought 3 male disciples to check inside the room. From the corner of my eye, I caught Su Qingqing sneaking after us. I was delighted inside. He took the bait. What I seemed to be saying to the checking disciples was actually all hints for Su Qingqing. That Lily has peony flowers on his inner thighs. The furnace records in the archives might have it. Go check it out first, then come back for inspection. The archives do have classic furnace patterns, like mine. But those are for being drained by others. Mine's a mutated peony. The petals and leaf tips are purple. I figured that Su Qingqing would copy the pattern faster than them. I stepped out of the courtyard gate, but ran into my bug-raising junior brother at the entrance. Yan Gitu glanced at me, tossing something brown like a cicada in his hand, asking casually, "How's the search going?" I said tearfully, "Right now they're going to the archives to find furnace marks. There might be similar ones." Yan Guitu nodded slightly and ordered, "Take me to see the people." Junior brother's even more useless than me, but his backing is huge. The bug sect married into the Medicine Valley, backed by an ascended grandmaster. Can't mess with Yan Gitu at all. I maintained my cautious, timid character and obediently led the way. Those guys were waiting in the courtyard up ahead. Yan Gitu glanced over and paused. He suddenly turned to look at me. He gripped the brown cicada tightly in his hand. He narrowed his eyes suspiciously. "We never said it was a man. How'd you know?" Cold sweat almost broke out instantly. I forced a smile, stammering, unable to speak. Yan Gitu scoffed, holding up the cicada. "Don't make me use the truth bug on you." I squeezed out a harmless smile. "I once saw a painting of a man in Master's room. It should be the person you're looking for, junior brother. Please don't tell Master." I looked down and muttered, "He hates people entering his room." This reason perfectly explained why I was so nervous. Yan Guitu is still young and not that sharp. He didn't notice anything off about me. He nodded and teasingly tugged at my face. "Don't you dare try hiding someone, you useless fool." or else 9 lives won't be enough to save you. I nodded hard, trying to look obedient. My fingers shook so bad I couldn't stop them. Man, I gotta pin this on someone else fast. I spotted Suenon in the crowd, looking smug. He's my ticket out. Soon enough, following protocol, everyone went in one by one, stripped down, and used a cloth to cover their privates. Then they checked legs for any markings. So Qingting's turn was coming up. I stared at him with hopeful eyes. Based on what I know about these 4 guys, they're all the same stubborn type. They'd never share with anyone else. Once they find the person, first thing they do isn't check. It's fight over who gets him. That'd be my perfect chance to bolt. A shout came from inside the room. A disciple stumbled out and ran toward me. Senior brother! We found him. Inside I felt relieved, but I kept my face looking worried. Go tell master right now. Why are you telling me? The disciple hesitated, like he wanted me to go, but I shut that down with a sharp bark. Go now! He hurried off and ran away. So Qingting came out of the room, face flushed. His clothes were neat, eyes shining, and he said shyly, I really don't want them fighting over me. I grimaced, but still bowed and flattered him. It's your divine beauty that's got those 4 so obsessed with you. After that, I bent over and backed away quick. I felt them racing over. From the shadows, I saw them frantically surrounding So Qingting. Didn't look any further. I ran straight to where the disciples were gathered. Spotted that disciple who always mocked me behind my back. If I don't get revenge now, when will I? I'm no honorable man. Dirty tricks first, don't care what happens. If I can't beat him fair and square, I'll just bury him with magic tools. Flashes of spells lit up in the distance. Those 4 started fighting, and I landed a frosty punch right in that disciple's face. Didn't forget to kick him in the nuts too. All the disciples saw it. I hit him and ran straight to the sect leader to confess. Disciple Luan acted on impulse and struck a fellow disciple. I'm willing to accept punishment. The sect leader's an old immortal with a beard and a sage, like air. He was already stressed about those 4 fighting in the sect. When he saw me, he just tapped my forehead a few times with his finger. Oh, yo. If you're gonna fight, at least find a place where no one's watching. It's not like I'd really investigate. I knew he didn't want to punish me. Right now, he just brushed it off. Lock me up for a few days, and call it done. He's like family to me, always been good. I looked up and stopped calling him sect leader. Uncle, this time you have to punish me. And it's gotta be exile from the mountain. The sect leader glanced up at the people fighting in the sky, then turned back to me with a sigh, like he figured something out. He said to me, just be careful out there. Don't get caught. He reached into his spirit pouch and pulled out a magic tool. Take this heaven, great artifact. They won't be able to find you. I happily took it. No need to be polite with my own uncle. As I left, I heard Uncle's long sigh. Why'd he have to inherit his mother's ability to charm everyone? A notice was posted within hours, while they fought. First disciple Luan struck a fellow disciple. Given the severity, he's punished with 3 years of mountain exile. On the road, I heard that disciple, who never liked me, mocking me. I guess your relative doesn't care about you that much after all. I snorted and raised my fist. I don't mind adding another charge. Everyone went silent. I grabbed my already packed bag. Inside were some clothes and storybooks. The spirit pouch with the magic tool was hanging at my waist. Packed up quick, and kept far from the fighting. Carefully followed the mountain path down. Once those fighting figures finally disappeared, I finally breathed easy. Still felt a bit nervous though. But at least I was more at ease. Back when I'd sneak out, I'd always go to the town below to buy storybooks and snacks. I still had some silver on me. Once it runs out, I'll just trade spirit stones for cash. That stuff is worth a lot in the mortal world. The cultivation world has a strict rule, no sword flying in the mortal realm. No choice. I had to pay for a mule. The mule plodded along slowly up front, and I lazily sat back reading storybooks. The towns below the sect mountain came one after another. Lantern lights connected the mountain paths and villages. As dusk fell, I strolled boldly into the next town. Didn't think word would spread faster than I imagined. I was eating a treasure roast goose at an inn, sipping wine. Our customers at the next table started gossiping loud. The Ling Xiao sect's in chaos today. Heard that young master from the ancient class, the genius sword cultivator, the evil demon lord, and that lofty celestial lord. They're all looking for one person. His buddy cut in. Latest news says they found him, right? Brother, you're way behind. The guy snapped back at his buddy. You're the one behind. That person was fake. Those 4 fought for a while, then realized something was off, and the guy escaped. Then, the guy pointed to a poster nearby. See for yourself. A disciple used a priceless teleport charm to get to every town and post these up. The guy looks pretty innocent though. How could he? I turned to look. The goose on my chopsticks dropped. Isn't that Mjolnir? I knew leaving the mountain at this time would draw attention, but I thought I could fool them for at least 3 days. How'd it take less than 1 day? Good thing I disguised my face when leaving the sect. I quickly had the innkeeper pack up the rest of the goose, went back to my room, and dug to my spirit pouch forever. Before finding the 1,000-mile teleport charm that sword cultivator Ling Yi gave me before. My face hurt just thinking about it. If I wasn't really desperate, I wouldn't use this. Get caught the 4 Left the mule with the innkeeper, used my spiritual power to activate the teleport charm. In a flash, I was transported 1,000 miles away. I shook my dizzy head and stood before the city gates. The huge plaque above read Ruyu City. I'd read travel logs about this place. They're famous for tea pastries here. Light tea fragrance mixed with flaky, crumbly layers, with little blocks of specially made butter from the western regions in the middle. I excitedly went to a shop and bought a plate. This shop didn't have many customers, but it had character. Everyone had to leave a fake name. When it was ready, the server would call out the fake name for customers to pick up. Heard it's because the plate's infused with tea fragrance, so customers' fingers would carry the tea scent too. Pretty interesting. I wrote down the fake name Lily, and sat down to drink osmanthus wine. This stuff goes even better with the tea pastries. Before long, a server's voice practically pierced the sky. Customer Lily, your tea pastries are ready. I jumped up quick, and went to get them. Suddenly, a low voice came from behind. Lily? I cheerfully answered, then suddenly realized something was wrong, and turned my head to look. Oh my god! How did Ling Yi follow me here like a ghost? No point denying it now. I turned to run. Obviously couldn't outrun him, so my half-step forward stopped instantly. I turned around ready to face death and looked Ling Yi in the face. The ice in his eyes seemed tinged with dark fire. I worked up courage and shouted loud, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. So can you let me finish my tea pastries before I go?" Ling Yi gave me a quick glance, tied my hand to his with red silk, turned around and took my tea pastries plate and all, left behind a spirit stone, and took me away. I stumbled along behind him. I asked, confused, "Just you alone?" Ling Yi's voice was icy. "Who else did you want to come?" Hearing that, I breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness. No, I only want you. Ling Yi snorted lightly and said flatly, "You're full of lies. All those people you've charmed." I quickly cut him off. "I'm a cauldron. You can't expect me to only have you." Ling Yi suddenly stopped. I leaned over to look at him and saw his eyes turning red. The great genius sword cultivator had never been this vulnerable before. Tears were welling up in his eyes. I felt uncomfortable and said harshly, "Don't think crying will work. I won't be your cultivation partner. No one person for life nonsense." Ling Yi reached out and pinched my face. Tugged it gently. "I know. Just stay by my side for the rest of your life." With that, he tightened the red silk binding my wrist, activated a teleport charm, and took me to a cave. The place looked dark and desolate from outside, but inside was completely different. The cave was covered in fur carpets. Sheer curtains hung over the stone bed. Thick golden silk bedding was laid on top. Looked like a place to cage a canary. Ling Yi untied my belt, fingers moving up from below. My eyes flushed red. I turned my head slightly. "Ling Yi, you can't keep me locked up forever." Ling Yi laughed softly, eyes showing some madness. "My dear flirts too much. Needs to learn a lesson." By midnight, I finally got to eat the tea pastries. Ate them while crying. After 3 days and nights, I finally understood what disposable meant. He never thought about sustainable use. Even with my cauldron physique, I was sick of it. Stayed unconscious all the way to noon on the 4th day. I felt jolting movement. I struggled to wake up from unconsciousness. Yan Gitu was carrying me on his back. My naked body was just wrapped in a blanket. I panicked and grabbed his neck. "Yalia, are you insane? Who taught you to kidnap people like this?" Yan Gitu ran fast and said pitifully, "I've been hiding by the door since yesterday. Finally got a chance when that punk Ling Yi left for a bit. Then he got angry again." "That punk tricked you. That 1,000-mile teleporm he gave you. No matter where you used it, you'd be sent to Ruyu City." I stayed quiet for a while. Knew I shouldn't use stuff from these guys. A figure chased rapidly from behind. It was Ling Yi. He was furious like a dragon whose treasure got stolen. I glanced down at Yan Guichu. "Didn't you say I don't have 9 lives to spare? Why don't you take my first life now?" Yan and Gitu ran while whimpering. "Lily, I was wrong. How could I take your life? You already stole my heart." I rolled my eyes, rested my head on Yan Gitu's shoulder, and got sleepy again. Yan Gitu kept yapping in my ear. "That animal. Look at all those marks on your body, Lily. I feel so cock-coded right now." Annoyed, I reached out my pale arm and smacked his head. "Shut up. If you don't want to, then quit. I'd be happy." He went quiet. Just ran even more smoothly. I nodded off drowsily and fell asleep instantly. When I woke up again, the situation had completely changed. They all showed up. Up ahead on left and right stood Ying and Qi Yan, eyeing us menacingly. Ling Yi caught up from behind, completely cutting off retreat, and I was still draped over Yan Gitu's shoulder, properly wrapped in the blanket. Qi Yan saw I was awake and looked straight at me, eyes full of danger. "Little fox, come here on your own, and I'll let it go. Otherwise tonight I'm skinning you alive." My body shuddered instinctively. Messing with the demon lord was the craziest thing I ever did. All because his face is too handsome. I didn't dare look, burying my face in Yan Gitu's shoulder. A cold voice reached my ears. Luan, come here. Every time Master calls me, it's with that tone, that way. I've practically got a reflex now. Even in bed. Lily, lift higher. I looked up at Yingshu's gentle eyes. He seemed like the safest choice. But knowing him like I do, it'd be pretty bad. Actually, with any one of them, I'm gonna get spanked raw. I thought it over. Ling Yi was closing in from behind. I glanced at Yan Gitu gripping my thigh. His face was full of menace. He eyed the three surrounding us warily, still managing to act all pitiful with me. Anan, I love you most. I won't go too far. Just come with me, okay? I twitched my lips. If I went with this guy, he planned to curse on me right away. That's the least free option. Ha! My back's still sore. I looked at all four faces, and suddenly said to Yingshu, aren't you disappointed? The one you obsessed over is me. Yingshu froze, pressing his lips together. Whoever you are, I love you. I have regrets. I didn't let him finish. I turned to Yin Yan. Didn't you say I looked boring? Why so worked up? As a cultivation vessel, I really don't get it. Isn't it all mutual consent? Why so serious? Why can't you just let me go? I sighed softly. Yan's face stiffened. Lua, I never liked you for your looks. It's just because it's you. Yan Gitu scoffed. And An, he's all smooth talk. He's just into your pretty face. Not like me. I love what's inside an An. The demon lord shot Yan Gitu a murderous look. He attacked directly. Yan Gitu dodged with me in one leap. If we're talking about that, Ling Yi's probably the most likable. Ling Yi seemed to read my mind. He stepped forward and gently tugged the red veil on my hand. In my eyes, besides Lily, everyone else is air. I didn't mean to. It's just a sort of cultivator thing. I looked at the four unwilling faces. I lowered my eyes. Only one way, make them fight each other. Only one winner. Then I'd have a chance to escape. I patted Yan Gitu's shoulder. Got my spirit pouch back from Ling Yi. Finally got some clothes on. I looked at Yan Guitu with his puppy dog eyes. Poor thing. But I still announced coldly. You guys fight. Whoever wins, I go with him. Yin Gitu uses curses. No combat strength. He's basically a sitting duck here. I expected blood and chaos, but nothing happened. No scene of Yan Gudu crying from the theater. Instead, everyone looked eerily calm. Yan Gitu spoke first. I just put a lover's curse on Anan. He dies, I die. I live, he lives. He flashed an evil grin. Rather than let him belong to someone else, dying together ain't a bad choice. Meanwhile, Cold Ling Yi said calmly. A few days ago, Luan and I did a blood bond with the ancient artifact Danzi. He can't leave me. My fingers started shaking uncontrollably. Damn, so that's why my finger suddenly hurt that night. That jerk Ling Yi took my blood. The ancient artifact Danzi binds two people together. Only death can separate them. I turned shakily to the other two. What about you guys? They were visibly annoyed. The smile Ying Shu used to fool me was gone. That first night we were together, the ancient text I had you recite was actually a contract. If you insist on leaving, heaven will bring down punishment. Demon Lord Yin Yan chuckled lightly. Lily, I already gave you the demon clan's special essence. We gotta do it once a month, or you'll die. My eyes went blank, looking at these four now standing together. I swallowed and asked carefully. Is there any way to undo this? All four remained unmoved. I was getting desperate. Don't you guys want a lifetime with just me? Ying Shu stated coldly. You just wanted to profit without effort. We all know you're a player, Lily. Yan Gitu lowered his lashes, muttering to himself. Four should be enough to satisfy Lily. Yan swept a glance at the other three. Guess we're sharing. This demon lord never shared before. Then he looked at me. Lily, you need punishment. Ling Yi, expressionless as ever, stated simply. I want the middle months. My future looked pitch black. I tried one last struggle. Tried to spread the love, to reduce the punishment. Turns out, no use. I was brought back to Ling Xiao's sect. Not to my old room, but moved into Ying Shu's peak. Sealed with restrictions. Only those four could enter. As dual cultivation sessions kept increasing, my cultivation somehow skyrocketed to golden core stage. Master gently stroked my head, looked at my flushed face and smiled softly. Anan, isn't this pretty good? I curled up my aching, cramping belly, nodded through tears. The door got banged on. Yan Gitu's loud voice came through. My turn, give me back my Anna. Ying Shu whispered in my ear. Want to go? I couldn't hear clearly, just kept crying. I agreed to whatever he asked. Nodding randomly only got me harsher punishment. Time flowed like water. The second year's Tixi festival, I begged for ages to get permission to go down the mountain. The village was all lit up. I excitedly solved lantern riddles. When I couldn't answer, Ying Shu smiled and gave me hints. My face turned red with frustration. Yan Gitu rushed over with candied hawthorn for me to eat. Stone-faced Ling Yi and the Demon Lord each held 2 rabbit lanterns. Orange lamplight fell on my smiling face. Alright. This isn't so bad. That day I solemnly wrote my wish on a river lantern. May every year be like today. I'm the young master of the curse gate. I've seen countless beauties in my life. But I can never forget the first time I saw Lily. First time meeting Lily was in a tea house. He was lazily drinking tea, listening to stories. He glanced at me. Those lively eyes even had a beauty mark. I felt this urge to lick it right then. Like a beast. I went up and asked him, "What tea are you drinking?" Lily smiled lightly, handed me the tea he'd been drinking. I drank it down eagerly, face all red. Seemed like it still had his sweet taste on it. How could I think that way about some knave kid? Face red, I asked his name. He said just call me Lily. I mumbled okay. We became friends. Everyone always feared me growing up. Feared my ugly curse bugs. Feared I'd control them with curses. But Lily wasn't like that. So back then I thought, I'd never use bugs on Lily, not in this lifetime. We called it friendship. But I always saw it as love. Our first time was naturally just right. After, he gave me a jade lotus petal. I was so touched. Just wanted to be with him forever and ever. As a sword cultivator, my heart only held the sword. Sword intent forged in endless snow and ice. Loneliness was always my companion. Until a little round figure appeared in the vast snow. I brought this rabbit back to my cave. The cold cave suddenly had something fluffy in it. I had something to look forward to coming back to. Some feeling I couldn't describe. I worked hard, raising this little rabbit. It was so cute, cuddling me in its sleep. Warm and alive. A life that was only about the sword suddenly felt meaningful. Until one day, the rabbit's body suddenly got hot. I panicked. He channeled spiritual energy into him. Next second, the rabbit went poof and turned into a young man. That boy, with round eyes, so pale. Like jade. The rabbit's heat cycle hit. His lotus root arms wrapped around my neck. I gently kissed this only living thing in my life. I'll never let you go. Because without you, I'll quickly perish with my sword. As the youngest demon lord in history, I found this world so boring. Every day just killing, killing, killing. Why wasn't there someone interesting to play with? Then Lily appeared. When I saw him, he was pulling a knife from some big guy's body. Eyes fierce. Blood splattered on his cheeks. His eyebrows tilted up slightly, like a cunning fox. This was lawless territory. Countless desperados would rape him to death. I don't know why. But his eyes stirred something in me I hadn't felt in centuries. I reached out my hand, asked this little fox, "Want to come with me?" So I had a silent little guard. He'd just stare at me blankly all the time. When demon clan buddies jokingly slapped my shoulder, he'd actually stand in front of me all righteous. Standing up for me. Standing up. Such a strange yet heartwarming thing. He's the only one who ever stood up for me. Falling for him was already easy. Like a cat pet. Focused completely on you. How could I not love being depended on like that? Just saved you once. And you gave me your whole heart. Guess I'll return the favor. Reluctantly give this little fox my heart and love too. It's lonely at the top. Standing high as a master carries too much responsibility. Actually, at first I disliked Lily. He was such a flirt. I saved him from a demon cave. Got completely latched onto. His constant chatter annoyed me. Having to protect him annoyed me. He was trouble incarnate. So, I mostly treated him coldly. But he just kept bouncing back. Picking flowers from who knows where to give me. Telling me stories he heard from who knows where. Scared when it got dark, making me light lamps for him. Thunderstruck, he'd crawl into my bed for safety. Cultivators don't need sleep. But that night, I somehow ended up in bed. Let him hold my arm. Things started spinning out of control right there. But I didn't notice at all. Until Lily got fed up with my coldness. And threatened to leave far away. I acted indifferent on the surface. But inside I was screaming. Make him stay. So I followed my true feelings. Grabbed his waist and pinned him to the bed. Turns out you can love without knowing it. But that's okay.